Hey, what's up guys? We are here for my NPL Week 8 match versus Nick, coach of the Texas Tyrantrums. Nick is currently 4-3 and in the other conference, but it doesn't really matter. This game is a must-win game because we need to stay on top of our division. I actually am on top of the division right now just by differential, so I want to stay on top or at least be in the best position possible. So this is pretty much almost a must-win match. I have to win almost every single game here on out if I want to make sure I want to win the division, because our division standing is very tough. Eric, coach of the Arena Reggies, is tied for us right now in first place, but I am on top of him by 2 differential points, I believe. I think I'm plus 12 and he is plus 10, I want to say. And then Alpha is only 1 game back, I believe, and Ben, coach of the LA Go-Goats, is actually only 2 games back. So very, very tight division. I have to keep winning, and then we have 3 divisional games at the end of the season. So I play Nick this week, I play Mega-Lugia next week, coach of the Bayern Munchlax. He's actually a very good battler as well. And I have to play my 3 divisional opponents back to back to back. So that will lead us into the playoffs. I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. We're actually getting pretty close. We're about halfway through this, well, more than halfway through the season. And yeah, I can't wait to get the playoffs. If I get the playoffs, I really hope I do. Anyway, I will get right into the team building portion of this and tell you Nick's team of the Texas Tyrantrums. So Nick has Mega-Beedrill, Volcanion, Cresselia, Keldeo, Tyrantrum, Gliscor, Cobalion, Kingdra, Roserade, Electivire, and Meowstic. So looking at that Mega-Beedrill team, there isn't too much that I really worry about. There are a couple things, like Cresselia is always a hassle, just because that thing is so freaking fat. So I always have to bring some sort of wall breaker or at least 1 toxic user, because Cresselia is really a pain. Honestly, you can't let that thing set up Calm Minds in your face, or else you will lose every single time. So I always have to bring at least 2-3 things to beat that, maybe even 4 sometimes. Now, the other Pokemon I'm kind of worried about is Volcanion, just because you throw a Specs on Volcanion and it's a pain, honestly. Steam Eruption is a broken stab move. I believe it's 110 or 120, maybe even 130 base power, but it's pretty much Scald on steroids, so I really got to watch out for that. Nothing on my team necessarily appreciates that move, so I'm kind of worried about that. Keldeo to an extent, because on some of the Pokemon like such as Steelix or anything else on my team, it doesn't really want to take a Keldeo Scald or Keldeo Hydro Pump, and then some of my walls to Keldeo that I could potentially bring, like Blastoise or something along the lines of that, it can just hit me with a Secret Sword. So Keldeo is going to be a bit of a pain if he brings it. Tyrantrum actually is a problem. I only have 2 dedicated rock resist. Steelix is my best one. I resist both of his stabs, and I can actually just beat him 1v1. I know Tyrantrum can carry Earthquake or Superpower, but I'm not necessarily scared because Steelix is so physically bulky. So I'm really hoping he is either a Scarf variant or a Lum DD variant, because that would be the best case scenario for me. But if he is Banded or if he is Life Orb DD, it's going to be a little bit problematic, but I think I can handle it overall. I do have a couple different checks to it, so yeah, that's good for me, I guess. Another thing to worry about is potentially Rain and having the Kingdra, because he could potentially bring a Rain team. I know Meowstic could get, I know it has Prankster, I don't know if it gets Rain Dance, but I'm pretty sure it might be able to. I know Cresselia can get Rain Dance and just set up some Rain, and yeah, a lot of his team members can take advantage of that, like Keldeo or Volcanion or Kingdra, so especially Kingdra. So I really gotta watch out for that Rain. I can't let him just set up Rain freely. Yeah, that's a bit of a worry for me. And lastly, probably just Roserade setting up spikes and trying to hazard stack me is my last concern. I'm not really too concerned about the Electivire or the Meowstic. I'm pretty sure I can handle that well with any members of my team. So that is his team, and I will get right into my team building process. So right off the bat, I saw that Tyrantrum, and I noticed I needed something to fall back on, and what is better than Scarf Latios, or yeah, Latios. Because if you look at his team, I will outspeed his entire team. Well, yeah, I believe I will outspeed his entire team as long as they aren't Choice Scarf like me. So this is pretty much a fallback mon. It kills Mega-Beedrill. It 2-hit KOs most Volcanion sets, unless he's AB. It beats Cresselia to an extent if I can predict it and trick it and give it a Choice Scarf, so that's really nice. Cresselia with the Choice Scarf is actually trash, so that is the reasoning behind that. I could also potentially trick the Gliscor, which is kind of nice because that thing is very item dependent. I don't really necessarily care if he gives me a Toxic Orb, because of the fact that I would be able to, well, I give him a Choice Scarf, and Gliscor is terrible without its Toxic Orb. So, and then maybe the, like, potentially the Roserade, but I guess it could still be decent with the Choice Scarf. So, that is the reasoning why I brought Trick, mainly for the Cresselia. And then Defog is this, if I need a last ditch effort, Defog to get rid of the hazards for my Pinsir or Thunderous, so that's pretty nice. What else? I guess, yeah, just Dual Stab because it hits everything on his team pretty nicely. I actually 2-hit KO Cobalion with Psychic, which is nice. And yeah, nothing really on his team wants to take Psychics except Cresselia and maybe the Meowstic. So I don't think he's going to bring Meowstic, so definitely the Cresselia. So it's kind of like his only switch-in necessarily to a Psychic, or at least his most comfortable switch-in to a Psychic. So yeah, that's really nice for me. And I can trick it potentially, so that is the reasoning why I brought Scarflatios. Also, I will be able to outspeed a +1 Tyrantrum 110%. I do not outspeed a +2 Tyrantrum though. It barely speed creeps me, which is kind of unfortunate. Even if I was max speed, it still barely speed creeps me. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but nothing I can do about it. And I guess I just won't let him set up to +2. So yeah, that is the Latios set, pretty nice. It gives me a ground immunity as well for the Gliscor, and just being able to beat something 1v1 is really nice. Next Pokemon we have is another Psychic type, and this is Zelda, our Meloetta, and this is pretty much almost the exact same set we ran last week, very, very similar, except I had Focus Blast over the Shadow Ball, I believe, but this set allows us to beat Cresselia 1v1, assuming we get drops. I was going to bring a sub Calm Mind set, but I didn't think I'd be able to set up on much other than the Cresselia, so I didn't want to have a sub Calm Mind set and he would bring out his Mega-Beedrill and just U-turn out into a different mon. So yeah, that's a bit of concerning for me, is the Beedrill versus this Meloetta, because it is definitely an OHKO with U-turn. At least I would think it would be. I didn't calc it. Anyway, this thing is basically here to beat Keldeo 1v1 and Volcanion 1v1. I actually OHKO Volcanion after Stealth Rock with Thunderbolt. I OHKO Keldeo with Psychic, and pretty much everything on his team doesn't really match up well versus this thing, except the Beedrill and possibly the Tyrantrum. If he outspeeds me, he should outspeed me. Pretty much any hard physical attacker. Even Cobalion doesn't really like this Meloetta set. I 2-hit KO him with Psychic. I beat Roserade 1v1, unless he's some weird Sleep Powder set, maybe. But yeah, this thing is really nice. It's just great coverage. He doesn't really have very good Psychic resist, and what he does have resisting Psychic is weak to my Shadow Ball, which is really nice. U-turn for initiative if I think he's going to go out into something that could potentially wall this thing. And then, yeah, T-Bolt is just nice for the Volcanion, and that's about it, honestly. It's pretty much just there for the Volcanion, getting a little bit extra damage. I guess Keldeo too, but I have Psychic for it. So that is the Meloetta set. We are running max pretty much. I believe I'm running 4 speed, just in case he wants to speed creep or speed tie me with something. And then the rest is just thrown into attack and HP for bulk. So I can actually live 2 Steam Eruptions from Specs Volcanion if he does not burn me on the first one, which is pretty nice. But if he burns me on the first one, I will not be able to live 2. So yeah, that's a bit concerning, but oh well, there's not really much I can do. I'm just going to have to wear it down, honestly, or get a free switch into this thing. So that is the Meloetta set. Next set we have is Tectonics, our Steelix. This is actually only the second game we have brought Steelix, and we have a bit of an interesting set here. I'm running Earthquake, Ice Fang, Toxic, and Stealth Rock. This set is designed to beat Gliscor 1v1. I'm running Sheer Force Life Orb. So, if you guys did not know what Sheer Force is, it boosts my... Here, I'll read the official... yeah, the official line for it. This Pokemon's attack is with secondary effects, such as freezing with Ice Fang, so I have a 10% chance to freeze or a 10% chance to flinch. Have 1.3 times power, but it nullifies the effects of my Ice Fang. So I will no longer be able to freeze him with my Ice Fang, which is not a problem because Gliscor is always running Toxic Orb, which at least it should be. And I don't think I needed Sturdy in this match because he could potentially just burn me with Scald and then it would ruin my Sturdy. So anyway, I thought I would run Sheer Force just in case, give me a little bit extra power, especially with Ice Fang, not with the Earthquake. And Life Orb is just nice for the extra power. So I actually kill. Well, I don't think I kill Cobalion or the Tyrantrum, but I bring it down to about. I do about 80% to each one with my Earthquake, which is really nice. That's a huge hit. I have plenty of bulk. If you look at my EV spread, I'm running 172 Impish Nature with max HP, so I will be able to eat Head Smashes and Outrages for days, while being able to tank some weak Earthquakes from Gliscor and a weak Close Combat from Cobalion. So I potentially beat those things 1v1. It's my Hazard Setter, which is really nice. Yeah, I can Toxic Cresselia if it thinks it wants to come in because it's a Levitate user. Yeah, and then Volcanion obviously doesn't want to take an Earthquake. Beedrill dies. This is a really nice Beedrill answer as well. So yeah, it's just this Steelix really fit for this week. Even though he does have plenty of counters to it, this thing counters like hard walls a lot of his team, which is really nice. Ice Fang actually does to offensive Gliscor about 80 to 90% with this spread while retaining this amount of bulk, which is fantastic. So if he's defensive Gliscor, I'm still doing like 60 to 65%, which is enough to OHKO him after a Toxic Recovery with his what do you call it? With his Toxic Orb, like just protect. If he wants to try to protect stall me, I can 2-hit KO him still if he's max. So that's really, really nice. And if he is trying to roost off the damage, I can click Earthquake and do more because he will lose his flying type on the roost. So that's really nice for me. Yeah, this Steelix is literally designed to beat Gliscor 1v1, which is pretty funny actually. And I hope it really works. I really hope it works. So that is the Steelix set, mainly just a wall for Tyrantrum and Mega-Beedrill. So, but in an extent, it can still beat other Pokemon, which is really cool. So next Pokemon we have is our Mega-Pinsir, our Brutal. We are running Frustration, Quick Attack, X Scissor, and Close Combat. So if you guys didn't know what X Scissor is, it is a physical attack move for Bug type. So I actually get Stab Bug on this set. You never really see X Scissor on a Pinsir, but the only reason I'm running X Scissor is for the dang Cresselia. I actually 2-hit KO him, which is really, really nice. Even if he is max, I still 2-hit KO him. At least I have a 56% chance to 2-hit KO him, I believe was the calc after leftovers, so that's really, really nice. Max attack Adamant, and I'm running max speed to outspeed the Roserade at max speed Timid, so that's really nice. I actually OHKO with quick attack, I believe, anyway, if he's offensive, but just in case I want to outspeed that thing. Yeah, just in case. Anyway, I can't outspeed the Electivire, which is kind of unfortunate. That is the reason why I'm not running Earthquake. I'm running Close Combat instead for the Tyrantrum, just in case I could catch it on a switch in or something. And then Close Combat's still going to be doing a very decent amount of things like Cobalion, just a little bit more power, which is nice. Cobalion can't take 2 Frustrations. Mega-Beedrill dies to a Quick Attack. Volcanion can't take a Frustration and a Quick Attack. I know Cresselia dies to 2 X Scissors more than likely. Yeah, and then Keldeo dies to I believe a Quick Attack. I don't think Keldeo would be able to live a Max Attack Adamant Quick Attack, but just in case, I have Frustration too, so maybe if I can catch it on the switch. Yeah, Gliscor can't take 2 Frustrations. Pretty much anything on his team hates this thing, so he's gonna have to run like max defense Electivire if he really wants to be effective versus this thing. Which is really, really nice, honestly. Or if he thinks Cresselia is a safe switch and I can 2-hit KO it with X Scissor, because I don't think he would be expecting it. So, really cool Pinsir set, gives us nice priority, and that's about it for the Pinsir. So the next Pokemon we have is Blitzkrieg, our Thundurus, and we're running a bit of an interesting set, honestly. This is actually my dedicated lead versus his team, because I have a decent matchup versus almost everything. Yeah, leftovers for added recovery. I'm running Thunderbolts, Dark Pulse, Nasty Plot, and Taunt. Prankster is actually really nice for this case, because if he is a Fastmon, or if he's a Scarfmon and he wants to set up rocks really quickly, for example the Cobalion, I believe he will be leading with the Cobalion if he does potentially bring it, because almost everybody wants to get up rocks versus Pinsir immediately as soon as they've seen it. And yeah, I'm going to stop that. So I'm going to bring Taunt, and this is also very nice for Meowstic if he wants to bring it, because those things just love to spam their prankster moves like T-Wave or something like that. I don't know what Meowstic gets, but I know it just loves to spam non-attacking moves. So I can taunt that thing, which is really nice, and I will be able to outspeed it as well, I believe. I don't necessarily know what Meowstic's speed is, but I don't think it's faster than 111. So Also, this is really nice for Cresselia trying to set up Calm Mines, and I could potentially beat it and set up in its face with Nasty Plot. So this is a really interesting set because I actually believe I hit everything for neutral damage with this set. Yeah, the Thunderbolt Dark Pulse actually hits everything with neutral damage or super effective damage, which is very, very nice for me. If I set up a Nasty Plot, I will be able to OHKO. I'll be able to kill Beedrill, kill Volcanion. I believe I 2-hit KO Cresselia if he's max Fizz Def after a Nasty Plot with Dark Pulse, and I potentially have a chance to flinch. I could kill Keldeo. I'm pretty sure Dark Pulse at +2 would kill Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum's special defense is not good at all because he would probably be an offensive set too. I don't know about Gliscor. It would definitely be a 2-hit KO, but not a one-hit KO if he's bulky. Cobalion drops to a +2 T-Bolt. So does Kingdra. I don't know about Roserade. Actually, Roserade could probably eat 2 hits from Dark Pulse. Electivire should drop, and Meowstic will definitely drop to a T-Bolt, so that's great for me. The specific spread is allowing me to outspeed Cobalion at 108 and Keldeo at 108. So really nice for me. He has to be Scarfed in order to kill me, and I don't think he would be running Scarf Keldeo this match, but maybe he will. Anyway, that is the nice Thunderous set. It also is a decent fighting resist versus his team, because the only other one I have is really Latios. I don't want Pinsir to take damage. So that's pretty cool. Next Pokemon we have is Designer, our Assault Vest Pangoro. Yeah, we were running double Assault Vest this week. I believe we ran double Assault Vest last week, but this is just added bulk because I didn't know what the 6th Mon was a toss-up. I almost brought Blastoise. I didn't want to bring Blastoise because I thought it would be a little bit, excuse me, like setup fodder. So I didn't really want to bring that thing either. I'm pretty sure I've swapped through 4 Pokemon on my team trying to fit this last spot. So ultimately I came up with Pangoro, and I'm still not comfortable with the Pangoro set I'm running. I'm literally I kind of just threw this thing on here and hoping it does well. So we were running Assault Vest, Iron Fist with knockoff Drain Punch, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch. So we have Bolt Beam coverage, which is pretty nice, and Dual Stab. It hits everything pretty hard. It is allowing me to eat some Volcanion hits, pretty much any special attack. I actually live a Moonblast from the Cresselia, so I could get a knockoff on it maybe. This thing is definitely not used, well, this thing isn't going to be used to, I guess, the best of its ability, is what I'm trying to say, because I don't really know what I'm doing with the Pangoro. It's kind of here as a wall breaker / wall. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. So hopefully the Pangoro set works out. Ice Punch is nice for Gliscor, Tyrantrum, and then T-Punch is nice for the Keldeo and Volcanion. And then Knockoff is just nice to get rid of items. So also decent Mega-Beedrill wall, because I know Beedrill cannot OHKO me with anything. U-Turn is neutral now that I'm Dark type and Fighting type, but that's okay. I'll take that. Yeah, so anyway, this is also a decent check to the Meowstic to an extent because he can't hit me with a Psychic or Psyshock. So I'll just hop straight into the battle and show you guys what happened. So Nick brings the Cresselia, the Gliscor, the Electivire, the Tyrantrum. Guys, look how cool the giant Tyrantrum is. Anyway, Cobalion, Keldeo, and that is it. So I see no Mega-Beedrill, which I kind of expected, honestly, because it's too frail for this match and I have great priority versus it. I'm a bit surprised for no Roserade. I feel that Roserade actually kind of beats my team 1v1. I know I do have a couple Psychic types that do beat it, but still kind of surprised not to see it. Another thing I'm kind of surprised that he did bring is the Electivire. I kind of figured he would bring either maybe, I don't know, I really thought Roserade was coming, and then maybe Kingdra, but I know he would already have, or actually Volcanion. Yeah, Volcanion was the one I was thinking of. No Volcanion is really, really surprising to me because Fire Water Stab is really good versus my team. I didn't really have much versus it, so that's pretty dangerous. Anyway, really the only thing that I had to resist those things is Latios, but maybe he thought I'd bring T-Bolt Latios. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to stick with my dedicated lead and lead off with my Thunders, predicting the Cobalion trying to get up rocks turn 1. So let's see what happens. I lead my Thunders, and he does in fact lead the Cobalion like expected. I'm just going to fire off a Taunt because I will outspeed him. I have the Prankster ability as he goes for the Stealth Rock, which is really nice for me. I actually click Nasty Plot here, and he shows me he does have the Stone Edge, which is okay because I will live it. I have some decent bulk. And now I will outspeed him and click T-Bolt and knock this thing out. Crit did not matter, I calced it for sure. And we get rid of his Rocker turn 3, which is nice. So no rocks versus Mega-Pinsir or Thunders. he actually reveals that he is Scarf Tyrantrum, which is great for me. So I go hard Steelix. It gives me a perfect opportunity to set up my Stealth Rock and just wear his team down. I could have went for the Ice Fang, predicting Gliscor to come in, but I didn't need to, so I just went straight for the rocks. He goes for the knockoff, which is kind of unfortunate because it knocks off my Life Orb, but I go for the Ice Fang, and I still do 67% without that Life Orb, which is really nice. So he's going to go ahead and switch out into, I believe, Keldeo. Yeah, Keldeo, predicting another Ice Fang. Good play on his part. I didn't really want to risk the Earthquake that early, so I just went for the Ice Fang again. Switch out here into, my Latios, because it is such a good Keldeo check, even an OU, so that's really nice for me. Just go for the Psychic here to break the sub on the, I believe, Icy Wind. And now, guys, I do remember that I am Scarf, so I will outspeed this by 1 point, but he does make the right play and switch out into Cresselia, just playing it safe, just in case I was Scarf. So, because he did see no item, so I go for the Psychic here. It does 16%, which is pretty decent actually. It kind of leads me to believe that he is Fizz Def, so I'm going to go into my Mega-Pinsir here, believing that he's just going to go for something like Calm Mind or Moonblast, which is really nice. Gives me a free switch in here, and I'm going to go straight for the X Scizor. As you guys can see, it is doing a whopping 50% to a Cresselia, guys. I know you guys, oh, only 50%? No, that is a Cresselia, guys. That is max defense Cresselia. So go for the X Scizor again, knock him out, which is great for me. Didn't want to roll or risk the roll with the frustration, so I just went for it again. I'm actually going to stay in here to see what he's going to lock himself into and not go for quick attack. I was going to go for close combat in case he choked and went for superpower, predicting my Steelix to come in. But he made the correct play and just head smashed. We lose Pinsir, but oh well. Actually go for the Earthquake here. I know he was going to switch out anyway, but just in case he wanted to stay in for some reason. Actually go for Earthquake here again, predicting him to double into the Keldeo, which is actually a bad play on my part. I shouldn't have done that in hindsight, but nothing you can do now. So switch out because I don't want to take another Earthquake and drop. He is getting Toxic Recovery, which is kind of annoying. But I'm just going to go ahead and drop a Draco here because he has no Dragon Resist left on his team, and nothing can take it. So the Gliscor goes down as he goes into the Electivire, and I don't really know what this thing's going to do, so I'm just going to go into the Mon that is most useless to me, which is Pangoro, because, once again, I don't know what this thing is honestly here for. So I just go for the Drain Punch because I know he's going to go for something to hurt me, and he actually does a lot of damage. So luckily that did not kill, and I'm able to break the Substitute, as he's going to outspeed me and kill me off with a low kick, but I'm not too worried. Pangoro did its job, broke a Substitute, so not really worried at all. Going to Latios here and clicking Psychic because he also has no Psychic Resist left. The Electivire drops and he goes into the Tyrantrum, and I have a chance to kill here, but I'm not going to risk it because Latios beats both of these Mons left, so I just go into this thing. He actually goes for Superpower, predicting the Steelix, which is really nice because I'm able to eat that up, and I can just fire off a Psychic here and kill another Pokemon. So he goes into the Keldeo. It drops to the Psychic as he goes back into the Tyrantrum, and it is pretty much GG from here. My Latios outspeeds him with its own Scarf and kills it with Psychic. So he misses Head Smash, which is kind of unfortunate because he gives me a bit better differential, and I'm able to knock him out with the Psychic. So we win 3-0 versus Nick, coach of the Texas Tyrantrums. Very good game. He had a couple Mons that he had a couple things that I really wasn't prepared for, like Life Orb Electivire was kind of scary. I guess if I didn't have Pangoro, it'd be pretty scary because I'd have to sack off a Mon, break its Substitute, and then come back in with something else. I don't know the rest of its set, but probably had something like Flamethrower for my Steelix. Low Kick would do a ton to the Steelix as well, even though it is almost max Fizz Def, just because it weighs so much. So pretty interesting set, I like it. But yeah, very, very good game, honestly. I believe he probably should have saved the Cobalion. That would probably have been his best play to get up those Stealth Rocks because of the fact that his Ice Beam did, like 70% to my Pinsir, so that's pretty cool, I guess. So I feel like that would have helped him in the long run, but oh well. I mean, it's still a very good game we had, and I think that is about it. Now we are 6-2, and Eric also won this week, and we are actually tied for differential, so we are perfectly tied on top of our division at the same differential and the same exact number of wins and losses. So it's a tight race, guys, like I said before the battle, and honestly, I don't know if we're going to be able to win the division, but hopefully we can. So that is all I have to say, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I will see you guys later.